Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very last episode of NXT before 2K20. Tonight, we begin the show with Tozawa versus Alexander. Winner takes on Pete Dunne at NXT TakeOver for the Cruiserweight Championship. Alright, here we go with the match I just mentioned. Cedric Alexander take on Akira Tozawa. The winner of tonight's match will be taking on Pete Dunne for the Cruiserweight Championship at NXT TakeOver, which is 2 weeks away. So it's coming up fast for us, ladies and gentlemen. NXT TakeOver will be taking place in 2K20, and we have a lot of big stuff for you coming up. After NXT is Money in the Bank, and I guarantee it's going to be a tremendous looking card from top to bottom. As in the main event, Shinsuke Nakamura tries to outlast at least 3 other men in that very matchup. So that very well, he has to go through Randy Orton, Triple H, and if he somehow gets through that, he has to go through Batista. So I mean, there's a lot of big marquee matches that if you don't like a certain championship match, there's other championship matches, there's other feuds going on in that very matchup. So there's plenty of Money in the Bank matches. We got 3 Money in the Bank matches for the briefcase, 1 for the women's division, and then 2 for the men's division. You got 1 for Monday Night Raw, and the other one for SmackDown Live. As here comes Akira Tozawa. Tozawa had a very impressive win over Pete Dunne a couple weeks ago. I believe it was actually last week. But this is a big moment for Akira Tozawa and Cedric Alexander. Alexander did defeat Mustafa Ali a couple weeks ago, and now with both of these guys with huge wins these last couple weeks, now Tozawa Alexander fight to become the #1 contender for for Pete Dunne's Cruiserweight Championship. Rey Mysterio used to be the Cruiserweight Champion. As here we go, match underway. Crowd going ballistic over this match already. They know they're in for a grateful night here tonight. As coming up after this match, we get to see your North American Champion Lars Sullivan in action, as he's going to be taking on the man that likes to bask in his own glory in Keith Lee. So Lars Sullivan takes on Keith Lee, as well as later on tonight in your main event, it is the NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa taking on Matt Riddle, who is scheduled to go one-on-one with Cassius Ohno at NXT TakeOver. As Alexander has Tozawa in the corner here. Seems like these guys are just kind of feeling each other out right now, just trying to see what kind of what kind of moveset, if they're going to start coming off fast, slower in this matchup. As both of these guys just going to town with these multiple chops, as a face buster takes down Tozawa. As now Cedric Alexander, no, Tozawa with the punch of the midsection. Let's see if Tozawa can continue his momentum from last week after defeating Pete Dunne in a terrific matchup. Those guys went to town on each other. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears have gone into that matchup, and Tozawa just looking for an opportunity to impress William Regal here on the NXT roster. As Tozawa back up to his feet here. Here we go. Hard Irish whip into the corner. Big boot takes down Cedric Alexander. And Alexander may be in trouble right now. Tozawa with the momentum in this matchup. Alexander holding his, I believe that was his right knee. Something may be very wrong. Referee might want to stop and just check him out real quick to make sure he's going to be good enough to finish this matchup. As Tozawa continuing to inflict some damage here on Cedric Alexander. As here we go into the other corner. Tozawa going to go for another hellacious boot. Alexander moving out the way. As now Cedric going to throw him onto the apron. And now Alexander. Cedric Alexander neckbreaker. And hopefully with the change we'll probably be adding some more superstars to NXT. We'll officially let you guys know. There'll be a video coming out at one time letting you guys know exactly the rosters for Monday Night Raw, NXT, and then the newly acquired night for SmackDown Live being Friday nights. So we'll let you guys know once Money in the Bank is over with who and what the rosters will be. NXT is going to be a very interesting one as there's no championship matches tonight. So going in to 2K20, we have Tommaso Ciampa, your NXT champion. Your NXT North American champion is Lars Sullivan. Lacey Evans is your NXT Women's champion. Aleister Black is your UK champion. Pete Dunne is your Cruiserweight champion. The War Raiders are your tag team champions. And I believe I named off all 6 of them. And also we have another match that was already announced for NXT TakeOver. A big running knee strike takes down Alexander. It's going to be the Undisputed Era taking on the War Raiders in a rematch for the NXT Tag Team Championships as an elbow to the chest takes down Cedric Alexander. And Akira Tozawa has been on absolute fire tonight, ladies and gentlemen. After that great pinfall victory he had over Pete Dunne, he must be wanting to continue to capitalize on that momentum. As now Cedric Alexander, what's he have in store here? Oh, he's telling Akira Tozawa to get up to his feet here. What does Alexander have in store here? Oh, he misses Tozawa a little bit too further back because Cedric Alexander didn't really take that in when he decided to hit that springboard. As a big clothesline, Tozawa takes down Alexander, and I think for Alexander, that was the only time in this matchup that he's going to be able to put away Akira Tozawa. That mistake is going to cost him. As now Tozawa looking to fly, ladies and gentlemen. Tozawa, big elbow to the middle of the back. And that was a very ferocious DDT. Then a spinning kick to the dome. And Alexander is out like a light. Pinfall attempt. 1. No, wow, just barely a 1 count there. I thought that would have been enough, but Alexander able to kick out right away. Going for a big chop. Alexander saw that coming, but Tozawa with his own reversal. And now Akira Tozawa going to go for a suplex attempt. No, Alexander from behind now. Going to throw his opponent into the corner. Referee inadvertently taken out here. Now anything can happen. Kick into the midsection. Now Akira Tozawa, backstabber. And Alexander is in trouble here as Tozawa trying to figure out what he wants to do here. We're going to have a high-risk, high-reward situation here for Akira Tozawa. Tozawa, oh, he's going for that brutal senton from the top. Alexander had that well scouted. Now the question is, can Cedric Alexander capitalize on that mistake? Because I'd say about 75% of this match has gone to Akira Tozawa. Alexander has absolutely struggled to find out the offensive attack by Akira Tozawa tonight. Maybe Alexander's more sluggish tonight, but I mean, he's having troubles as a face buster takes down Tozawa. Maybe a little bit closer to maybe getting this victory. Oh, and a double chop there from Tozawa and Alexander. And now a fireman's carry takedown from Alexander. Tozawa with a big punch to the face. These guys are going to war. And now Tozawa fired up. He's getting the crowd here in Full Sail University all behind him. And now Alexander. What does he want to do to Tozawa? Is he just going to toss him back in the middle of the ring there? And now Cedric waiting for Tozawa, looking to go to NXT TakeOver is the official new #1 contender. Lumbar check to Tozawa. And will that be enough? Dragging him towards the middle of the ring. Pinfall attempt. 1, 2, no, 2.5. I'm honestly not surprised Tozawa was able to kick out of that because Alexander has suffered so much damage and hasn't inflicted enough damage to really get anything going. As now, here comes Alexander. Brainbuster! Brainbuster to Tozawa. Will that be enough this time? 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. After going for the lumbar check, decides to hit a brainbuster, and that for sure will be enough for Alexander to go to NXT TakeOver. In 2 weeks' time, Alexander is your official new #1 contender against Pete Dunne for the Cruiserweight Championship. That match very well could be a show stealer for NXT. I mean, I don't get how Tozawa did not win this, honestly. I mean, he dominated 75% of this match, I would say, if not even more. And Alexander just able to somehow get it done, as we still seeing some replay footage here. This is a lumbar check leading into a brain buster later on in the matchup. But big win for Alexander. He's the new #1 contender. Will we see a new Cruiserweight champion in 2 weeks' time? Or will Pete Dunne continue to dominate the division? Find out in 2K20, as now it is time for Keith Lee to take on Lars Sullivan. Alright, big matchup here for Keith Lee, as he's going to be taking on the NXT North American Champion in a non-title matchup. As Keith Lee is not undefeated right now here in NXT, but I mean, he's had some great matches so far here in NXT. He's gone up against Matt Riddle, both of those men coming out with wins against each other, as well as Keith Lee has had some other matches, especially against Adam Cole. Those guys went to war. Adam Cole eventually getting that win, but I mean, those guys, especially Keith Lee, very impressive, and I think it won't be long before Keith Lee is dominating NXT. As it's time to bask in the glory known as Keith Lee. And Keith Lee and Lars Sullivan going to be going to war tonight. Two big monsters going at it inside of that ring. As here he comes, the Freak, Lars Sullivan. And it will be in 2 weeks' time, ladies and gentlemen. Lars Sullivan and another big man, Walter, will be going at it for that NXT North American Championship. Walter versus Lars Sullivan. I cannot wait to see how Lars fares against that. We have to have a winner. And now, it seems from last week, Walter now has some more backup, known as Imperium. We have Marcel Barthel and Fabian Anchor. I know I'm going to pronounce that last name really wrong, but do the best of my ability to get it correct. But nonetheless, we have Imperium and Lars Sullivan coming up in 2 weeks' time for that North American Championship. This match is going to be a barn burner tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who's going to walk out. Keith Lee takes on the Freak, Lars Sullivan. Let's get it on. As look at Lars Sullivan tossing him in the air. Wow. Keith Lee is a big man, so that's not an easy thing to really do here in WWE. As now, here we go. A face buster takes down Lars Sullivan. Keith Lee needs to get something going here early. Cannot let the Freak get anything going here, because if Lars starts being able to throw his weight around, obviously I believe Lars Sullivan's a little bit more weight than Keith Lee has, and I mean, oh wait a minute, look at that, the palm-handed chokeslam from the ground, able to pick him up one-handed and just unleash chaos on Keith Lee here. Man, Lars Sullivan, you call him a freak for a reason, but damn, he has a lot of strength. As now Lars Sullivan tossing Keith Lee around like a cruiserweight here. And we could be moments away from Keith Lee getting pinfalled or submission here. But Keith Lee back up to his feet, trying to get something going here. As now backstabber, backbreaker, whatever you want to call it, into a Russian leg sweep. Very innovative there for Keith Lee, as he now is just stomping away. And again. As, wait a minute, look at the strength. Look at the strength of Keith Lee with a gut-wrench suplex. Taking it to Lars Sullivan, and now it's just two big boys going to war here tonight. Referee doesn't even know what the hell he's doing. He's like, oh, I don't even know. Should I pin? Referee being a little stupid there, honestly. Kick to the midsection. And now Lars Sullivan. What does he have in store here? Oh, release powerbomb there to Keith Lee. But just like that, Keith Lee back up to his feet. And Lars Sullivan not too happy about that. And he's going to make him pay with a German suplex. And now Sullivan looking to fly. You do not want this freak to start flying. Sullivan, the flying headbutt. And Keith Lee is in trouble. And now Sullivan going to go for the pinfall. That very well could be enough. No, 2.5. Sullivan thought he had him. But Keith Lee is going to be a fighter to the very end. As Lee, just sensing that he's in trouble right now, trying to crawl up to his feet here. As now Sullivan going for the freak accident. Down goes Keith Lee. And that very well could be the end of this matchup. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it was. Lars Sullivan coming right out of the gates, coming right after Keith Lee, and getting the upper hand ultimately on Keith Lee. Not the best match we've ever seen from Keith Lee, but Lars Sullivan, he has been dominant as of late. And we'll see if Lars Sullivan can keep this up, as he'll be defending his North American Championship against Walter in 2 weeks' time at NXT TakeOver. These guys are going to go to war, two behemoths, Walter, Lars Sullivan. Sullivan wants to get the upper hand over Walter after Sullivan thought Walter was wanting to team up with him, but that's not what he got. NXT TakeOver is going to be a great night, as we'll talk more about the main event of NXT TakeOver with this next match, as it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa taking on Matt Riddle in the main event of NXT. Main event time here, ladies and gentlemen, here on NXT. It is going to be the main bro. It is going to be Matt Riddle taking on Tommaso Ciampa. As it has been pretty dark here in the NXT arena these last couple weeks here with this new arena. We'll see how the new arena is for 2K20. But Matt Riddle making his way down the ring. Matt Riddle, 2 weeks' time, takes on Cassius Ohno in a one-on-one matchup, as well as Aleister Black defends his UK Championship against Roderick Strong. Next week here on NXT, we'll find out Aleister Black's stipulation for that huge championship match. And we'll be talking about Tommaso Ciampa's opponents coming up in 2 weeks' time, as well as Tommaso Ciampa will be defending his championship against not just Johnny Gargano, but Ricochet. Three of the best main wrestlers we have here in NXT. There's one of them. Gargano won the first ever NXT Money in the Bank. Gargano went to cash in on Tommaso Ciampa. Didn't work out in his favor. And eventually it looks like Gargano will get an opportunity at Tommaso Ciampa. As Cassius Ohno coming out with his buddy Tommaso Ciampa just to get a front row view of Matt Riddle tonight. And obviously that triple threat match for Tommaso Ciampa doesn't obviously favor him. 33.3% odds in that very matchup. But those guys are going to go to war. And if Cassius Ohno is allowed to be in the corner of Tommaso Ciampa, I think that very well could maybe give more percentage to Tommaso Ciampa if that's possible. But nonetheless, these guys are hellbound on beating the living hell out of each other. Ciampa versus Riddle tonight on the very last episode of NXT before WWE 2K20. We're going to see a lot of new changes to Raw, NXT, SmackDown Live. Raw and Wednesday night NXT will be staying the same. SmackDown Live will be officially going to Friday nights. As well as we'll be seeing new superstars on NXT, a little bit of different arenas as well, so make sure you guys stay tuned. 2K20 is going to be a great time for our universe mode to explode, hopefully. As a nice snapmare takedown takes down Tommaso Ciampa with this very vicious headlock. As Matt Riddle, the original bro, looking to put away Tommaso Ciampa, and maybe if Matt Riddle can put away Tommaso Ciampa, maybe he could be climbing up the rankings here for the NXT Championship. As we got a little bit of a stalemate here. Both of these men, no cheap shots as of yet. Tommaso Ciampa with his own there, but Matt Riddle almost buckling that left knee there. As now a gut-wrench takedown, and now Ciampa taking down Riddle, showing down his own wrestling type of prowess here. Ooh, Ciampa just tossing Riddle's head down. Riddle will not be feeling too good after that. As now Ciampa throwing Riddle's head right on that top turnbuckle. Very vicious maneuver there from your NXT champion. So as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, for NXT TakeOver, I believe most of the card is set that I know of. We're going to have Walter taking on our NXT North American champion. Lars Sullivan here is, oh my god, Riddle in trouble. Riddle to be taking on Cassius Ohno. Ciampa defends in a triple threat match, as it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Ricochet. The Undisputed Era will be going up against the War Raiders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Pete Dunne will be taking on Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship. Candice LeRae will be challenging your NXT Women's Champion Lacey Evans to a matchup, as well as maybe possibly much more. We don't know what else is in store for NXT, but I believe quite a bit of the card is already finalized. As now, wait a minute, submission hold applied here. Tommaso Ciampa going to try and make Riddle tap. Can Riddle try and get that left leg to touch the bottom rope at least? But it seems like he might not have to, as the elbow glancing to the dome there of Tommaso Ciampa. Can Riddle get back in this matchup? As, Riddle. Here we go, Riddle with the Alabama Slammer. Takes down Ciampa, but just like that, Ciampa back into this matchup. Not a lot of damage really done to Tommaso as of yet. Big punch there for Ciampa, as here we go, hard Irish whip into the corner. Riddle needs to get back in this matchup, and this is what he needs to do. Vicious knee strikes right to the kidneys and the ribs there. Oh, and now stomping away, and then a big knee right to the dome there of Tommaso Ciampa. This is what we love to see from Matt Riddle, that just absolute vicious offense. And with Cassius Ohno being there at ringside, maybe he's going to do even more if he has to. As right there. And I wonder how much damage it does to Matt Riddle's own feet being barefoot the whole time. And I'm surprised that we don't have more superstars stomping away on Matt Riddle's feet, honestly. I mean, it's kind of ballsy of a wrestler not to wear anything. As there's Cassius Ohno getting involved. I think Riddle was going to try and probably put away Tommaso Ciampa. He doesn't see Tommaso Ciampa coming, and now Ciampa going to make him pay. It's a big maneuver there from Ciampa. And we could be moments away from your NXT champion putting away Matt Riddle here. Ciampa has him up in a backstabber right in the middle of the ring. That could be enough. Oh, 2.9. Tommaso Ciampa thought he had him, and I thought he did too. Did you see the ferociousness coming down as it powerbombed right onto his knees? And now Ciampa gonna put away Matt Riddle here. Down goes Riddle. Pinfall. 1, 2. No. 2.5 that time. Seems like Matt Riddle is getting stronger by the end of this matchup. And this is a good time for Ciampa not to get frustrated right now. Because if Ciampa starts getting frustrated, that could favor Matt Riddle. But Matt Riddle's in a world of pain right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's not been able to really respond whatsoever in this matchup. And as another submission hold here to Riddle. Riddle in trouble again. Will Matt Riddle tap? Tommaso Ciampa wrenching in the submission. Can Riddle fight out of it? Come on, Riddle. As Riddle trying to again fight out of it. And he does, I believe, these vicious elbows. Yes, able to get out of it. But Riddle needs to get some offense here. That's now Matt Riddle. Here we go. Oh, nice maneuver there from Riddle. As that very well could have been enough here. 2, 3. Yes, it is. Dropping Tommaso Ciampa right on his head. Matt Riddle gets it done. It almost looked like it was going to be a, almost like a Northern Lights suplex of type maneuver, but, I mean, nonetheless, Matt Riddle dropping Tommaso Ciampa on his head, and Riddle picks up a marquee victory in his career so far here in NXT. As right here, you got the 2.5. Hopefully we can see. Look at right here. He picks up the leg, almost like a Northern Lights suplex type of maneuver. I believe so anyway. And Matt Riddle able to upset your NXT champion. What a match. Not the outcome I was expecting, but Matt Riddle with an upset victory to close out NXT, ladies and gentlemen. What is going to be the future of Matt Riddle? What's the future going to be like for Cassius Ohno? And same for the NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa. As it's going to be in 2 weeks' time, Tommaso Ciampa defends against Johnny Gargano and Ricochet in a triple threat matchup. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys at Money in the Bank.